Here we go again. What's this? There you go. This is it right here. Yes. All right, man. Look. Look, man. So, King is back. You already know. Thank you for pulling up. I'll be pop-up living, man. You know what I mean? It's a pop-up live. Like the pop-up, like the pop-out. King be doing pop-up lives. So stay on stream, nigga. All right, so look, man. So today's live episode, 1 Drake fan versus 5 Kendrick fans. Now, I seen this, and I wanted to watch this, but I didn't get a chance to. And I said I want to watch this in real time because I didn't watch it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch it. I seen Top Rob Troy post it. I see people posting it, but I did not watch none of it. I don't know. And I see that I have my favorite, one of my favorite YouTubers sitting in the chair. So we're going to get to that. So let me just run the intro. Everybody come on in, man. Y'all could come in. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start this. You know what I mean? Y'all could come in. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all, man. You already know. King of the North. So look, man, I'm going to run the intro, and then we're going to get to it, man. Let's do it. All right, man, Torch Talk, you know what it is, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all, beautiful, single, sexy ladies. I love you. All the fellas, y'all know what's up, man. King of the North, let me know what kingdom you from. So today's episode, 5 Kendrick fans versus 1 Drake fan. We're going to get right into it, man. I ain't going to play no games. You know what I'm saying? Make sure the camera right. Hey, there you go. It's good. We're going to play no games. Let's get to it, man, because this is going to be entertaining. I already know. And I'm going to tell you right now, man. See, this is what makes me mad about stuff like, don't make me mad, but this was kind of like pisses me off a little bit, because I can almost guarantee you that the Drake fan is going to be smart. The Kendrick fan is going to be dumb. I can tell you right now. I can tell you. I ain't even got to watch nothing. I can tell you that the Drake fan is going to have the numbers right. He's going to be correct. Punctuation, all that. You already know. He's going to have everything in order. And the Kendrick fans are going to be all over the place. I'll tell you right now. Because the reason why I say that, because I don't see DeVille sitting there. I don't see Jalopy sitting there. I don't see the King sitting there. I don't see Top Rob Troy sitting there. I don't see Marcus at Work Media sitting there. I don't see Big Kiss sitting there. I don't see none of those people sitting there. All these people that's sitting there, I don't know who the guys are. So let's get to it, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all, man. This is going to be a good one. So let's go.
How many artists has Drake pillaged from?
I don't know what he is. He's a chameleon. A chameleon in our culture?
Who made the party anthem of the year?
Who's made the party anthem for 20 years?
He battled Kendrick Lamar. Win, lose, or draw, he's stuck in for the fight.
And Kendrick's albums are better. I'm sorry.
He's not like us. He's not like us. He's not like us.
My name is Jay Roebuck, and today I'm here in front of...
Oh, no, bro. Y'all got me, man. It's Jay Roebuck. Get There's no way, bro. This is not real. This can't be real, bro. There's no way they got J. Roebuck. Come on, bro. How you look? This is what makes me mad because obviously he's going to be much more knowledgeable about this than these people are. Because these are random Kendrick fans who probably just don't know nothing. They just probably just saying anything. And this guy, he knows a lot. For a young man, he know a lot. So this is just a dunk session. This is all this is. I'm telling you now. It's a dunk session. J. Roebuck. Oh, gotta come with the facts. It's crazy.
5 of Drake's biggest haters. My job is going to convince them that they are completely wrong and show them the real way to appreciate one of hip-hop's greatest artists. My first claim is Drake has done more for hip-hop than any current artist. All right, here we go.
Watch out to the seat, man. Why can't I be in this chair? Oh my God. Drake has done more. And I noticed how he worded that. Any current artist. Drake has done more for hip hop than any current artist. My first question to him would be, well, what's current? What year are you starting with when you say current? Because you're saying he did more for hip hop than any current artist. So what would be current? You know what I'm saying? What year would you start? That's what I would ask.
You say that Drake has done more for hip hop than any other black artist?
Than any current artist today.
Any current artist.
He didn't say black. You gotta remove that. He didn't say black because Drake's black. So you can't say he done more for black artists because Drake's black. So why would you even say that? I don't know why you would say that. But let's keep it going.
Yeah.
How you say that? What's the fact on that?
Oh, you want me to start? Okay, I'll start.
Yeah.
Well, there's a number of ways that we can look at this. We can look at it from a numerical point or a cultural point. We can start with the culture, right?
I love the culture. That's the best one.
Yes, sir.
Listen to
I believe that one of the most important things an artist can do for hip-hop or for what they believe in is put it at the forefront of the entire world. Hip-hop has been the most dominant genre in the world for over a decade, and the leading force behind that has been Drake. You can look at the numbers, who's the most streamed.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. Drake is not a person who I would say put the culture before himself. That's not correct. Drake didn't put the culture before himself. You know an artist that's not black that did that? It's Eminem. Eminem literally put the culture before himself. He never rapped about money, cars, clothes, hoes. He actually did the rapping ability and put that at the forefront. So when he say that Drake did that, no, Drake didn't do that. Drake did not do that. That's incorrect. Drake is streamed. He is a big artist. Well, so was Soulja Boy. So was a lot of artists who was actually pretty big. So no, you're absolutely wrong about that when you say that he put the culture first. No, he did not do that. He didn't do that. You can't say by default that Drake put the culture first. No, Drake put himself first. He put himself first, and he just so happened to be in a culture. But let's be clear here. Most of the music that Drake put first wasn't really hip hop music. It was more R&B-ish music, which you would say rhythm and blues, but no, that's incorrect.
Artists, you can look at the numbers and talk about the collaboration with other cultures, whether it's UK or whether it's in the Caribbean. He has put hip hop at the forefront of all those things. So by him doing that, every other artist has been able to benefit. If you want to look at, just the pure hip hop purist standpoint, if you want to talk about battle rap, Drake has put his money where his mouth is. He has invested in URL to allow these artists to have a platform to continue to flourish. Those are just some of.
See, and I noticed what J. Roebuck is doing, right? He's playing a very, very vague, thin line with these answers. Because basically what he's saying is because Drake participated, that must mean that he did it. No, that does not mean that. I mean, there are a lot of people who participate in things but don't have it at the forefront and say, yeah, this is what it is. There's a lot of rappers. I'll give it to you like this. Post Malone, he participated in hip hop and he was pretty big in hip hop, but he didn't put it at the forefront. It just so happens that he was there. That's the same thing with Drake. So when you say stuff like this, like, oh yeah, he introduced other cultures to hip hop, you're basically saying that Drake is responsible for making hip hop global. And that's totally false. 100% false. He definitely is not. Hip hop was global before Drake even got into it. People knew about hip hop before Drake got into it. Did he magnify or did he add to it? Yes. But for you to say that he basically introduced other cultures to hip hop is crazy. That's crazy for you to say. He definitely didn't do that. There was other people before him that did that. Did he add to it? Yes, but that doesn't make you the arbiter of it. You know what I'm saying?
The things
But
that he's
he lost
done.
the battle against Kendrick. If we talking about hip hop, because you talking about him giving, and that's great. Culturally, I think we have an issue with Drake because Drake is, I don't like to say culture vulture, but he has attached himself to Atlanta. He has attached himself to Houston. He's attached himself to things in like part of our culture as Black people, as people that are true hip hop people. But I don't always think that Drake is for us. I don't know where Drake stands on political things. I'm not saying that Drake has to be Common or Nas, right? But I don't know what he is. He's an enigma. He's a chameleon. A girl told me the other day, a chameleon in our culture is like you're there for yourself. There's no benefit in anybody else but you. The sales are cool. I get it. Kendrick has equally decent sales, right? Grammy nominations and wins, very close. Cultural impact, you can't say that Kendrick doesn't have a more cultural impact than Drake. It's crazy. Like,
Okay.
Drake don't even put people in his own city.
I would like to respond,
Yeah.
right? So you said a few things.
All right, that's a very good answer. That's a very, very good answer. Basically, he's saying like, look, how can you say that Drake is more cultural than Kendrick when he speaks on issues and topics that is of the culture? I see what Jay Roebuck is doing though. He's actually trying to manipulate the word culture by using other cultures and saying, well, Drake introduced hip hop culture to other cultures. This guy is saying, no, Drake is not of the culture that we represent. So how can you say that he's actually introducing it to other cultures when he doesn't even represent the culture? That's what he's saying. So I'll have to give this to the other guy. That point was actually pretty good. I'll have to give him that. Let's keep it going.
You started talking about Atlanta. So what you just did there was really prove my point. Drake has done big things for all of those places. When you talk about Atlanta, let's look at the Migos, right? Offset has said it out of his own mouth. The head of QCP has said it himself. What Drake did by doing that verse on Versace and putting it out for free helped amplify the motion that the Migos already had. If you want to go to Houston, if you want to go to Toronto, if you want to talk about The Weeknd by putting The Weeknd on Take Care, if you want to talk about, even though him and Tory Lanez had a feud in Toronto, he helped amplify Tory's career. If you want to look at Party Next Door, who Drake gave his first #1 album and one of his first platinum selling projects and one of his best selling projects. Drake is the person who allowed that to happen. And I notice you're doing something here, and we'll talk about culture as we.
There's so many things wrong with what he just said, bro. Oh my God, bro. Why couldn't I be sitting in that goddamn chair, bro? So first of all, let me go back to what he said, what he just said. And I'm trying to remember what he said, because he said a lot. So he said that the Migos, he said that Drake put the Migos on, but then you notice that he said they already had motion already, right? So why isn't that whenever Drake does something for somebody, he's actually doing it for them, but it's not the other way around? Drake is not, let's be clear here. I'm just gonna be straight with y'all. Drake is not of hip hop culture. He came into it, but he wasn't born into it. You get what I'm saying? So when you talk about he put the Migos on, no, the Migos put him on. It's just so he was more popular than them at the time. Yeah, he did help elevate, but without their sound, nobody would have cared who Drake was. That's the thing. So that's the part that he's not mentioning. Then let's go to The Weeknd. He said that Drake put on The Weeknd. The Weeknd wrote 6 songs on Take Care. So who really put on who? If I wrote your sound and I made you who you is today, and you're still trying to find and try to be like me, how can you say that he put him on? If I wrote for you, how can you say that I put you on? I was the one that put you on because I wrote it for you. You know what I'm saying? Without me, you wouldn't have had that. If you listen to Thank Me Later and you listen to Take Care, they don't sound nothing alike. Nothing. Drake does not sound nothing like that. He took the Weeknd sound and he tried to run with it. And he said, I put him on. Then you go on to say he put on people from Atlanta. No, what he did was exactly what Kendrick said he did. He went to Atlanta and he basically leached off of all their sounds. He didn't actually go there. If you listen to all of those songs, he's manipulating everything they're doing. They're not manipulating what he's doing because he has no sound. Drake has no sound. Drake has that one flow that he does when he did Duppy Freestyle, and we don't even know if that was even him at the time. But when you go back to So Far Gone, that's the Drake that we're talking about when he raps a certain way. Outside of that, everything he does, he definitely is a chameleon. So Jay Roebuck is wrong by saying this, by saying, he put people on. No, he actually did walk into it, but Drake is not of the culture. He walked into the culture. He wasn't born into it like most hip hop artists were. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
As we get deeper into this debate, you keep saying our, as if he doesn't belong to it. But if you look at his lineage and his family history, his father is a Black American from Memphis, Tennessee.
That's very confusing.
That doesn't mean nothing, bro. What the fuck? That don't mean nothing, bro. That don't mean shit, bro. Just because your father is a Black American, that does not make you hip hop, bro. I don't know where you got that from. Y'all can tell Jay Roebuck didn't grow up in the hood. I can tell you right now. He ain't grow up in the hood. I'm going to tell you right now. You know what I'm saying? Listen, bro. There's a lot of Black, upper class Black people who would never claim hip hop. Never. And just because you from the ghetto, that doesn't mean you hip hop either. Because everybody ain't hip hop because they from the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a special type of person to be hip hop, in my opinion. Special type of Black person. Nah, I'm just joking.
His uncle, is another one of the most influential musicians who helped Prince, right? Which is one of the greatest musicians who's ever lived. So I know.
But you see how he's framing all of this? He's framing this as if everybody's helping everybody, but nobody helped Drake. That's my biggest problem with Jay Roebuck. You know what I'm saying? Is he's always framing it as if someone else Drake is always helping somebody, but nobody actually helped Drake to get to where he need to be. I want to see if this is going to be a long one.
We're going to get into this more, but I just had to stop you there.
No, I love that. That's beautiful information. But a lot of times with Drake, I don't know that because I feel like he's so alienated himself from his like fans. Like he shits on rich people shit. And it's like, bro, who the hell could relate to your music now?
So you think that Kendrick Lamar has done more for hip hop than Drake has?
I think
that's a loaded question. It depends on what you're looking at. So that's what I would say. Now I don't know. I'm gonna see what he says, but then I'm gonna tell you what I would have had said.
Drake has done a lot. I'm not saying he hasn't.
So if not him, then who? Who is your person who you think has done more for hip hop than Drake?
I could say Kanye. I can say
I don't count Kanye as a current artist, but if we want to do Kanye.
See, there you go. How you not count Kanye as a current artist when he's still working, and they came out around the same time. Kanye West, I think he came out maybe 4 years before Drake or something like that. Then Drake came. You know what I'm saying? Then Kendrick came. So when you say current, that's what I meant by you have to give a timeline. Because once you say who did more for hip hop, first of all, it depends on how we looking at it. If you're saying that Drake did more for hip hop through streaming, and he reintroduced the world to streaming, or introduced the world to streaming, and he did some things, we could have an argument. I could say, okay, cool. But when you're talking about accolades and all of the awards that Kendrick has done, and allowing and showing people as a hip hop artist that you can compete with pop stars, you can compete. There's no competition when we're talking about accolades. No. So when you say he did more for hip hop is not just number driven. It's actually accolade driven, because the first thing people say when it comes to hip hop is not how many number ones you got. They usually say, well, how many awards you got? How many Grammys you got? Because to me, awards last longer than hits, if you ask me. Because if you got 100 awards and you got 2 hits, that don't mean nothing. But most people going to look at Prince and they're going to say, damn, Prince did his thing. Michael Jackson did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, hits do matter. But in my opinion, the way I'm looking at it, it's a little more than that. So who did more for hip hop? Drake or Kendrick? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's a no-brainer, bro. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Kanye is. I feel like he's current.
If you wanted, we can talk about Ye. Well, that's the buzzer.
All right.
But that was good. We'll meet again.
How many artists has Drake pillaged from? How many artists do we look at where you could try to say that Drake has reached out and given a feature there and then he drops them off to Relevancy? How many artists has Drake signed to his own label, steals their greatest songs? You just mentioned Party Next Door, who's not even a hip-hop artist. Drake has stolen Party Next Door's whole career, derailed it, and then jumped on it and took all his best work and then put it out as his own. So Party Next Door can't even shine to be the artist that he is, because Drake can't stand to be, he has to be the star of the limelight of everything that he does. He's jumped on Block Boy JB song. He jumps on these one-hit artist song, and then you never hear from these artists ever again. Fetty Wap had one of the greatest waves in hip-hop we've ever seen. So many hits. He ran the summer of 2016. What did Drake do? Man, let me jump on my way, take it over, not give you a music video. So this claim of that you're trying to paint out there that Drake is just the greatest and he's done so much for hip-hop. Yeah, he's done so much thievery. That's the type of work Drake has done.
That was cool.
Oh, Jay, you gonna have to come strong with this one, Jay. Oh my God, bro. He came out like this. When a nigga talk with his hands up like this, he really saying some shit. He had his hands up like Drake did this, and he did. Like, bro, I'm trying to tell you. Oh man, he gonna try to downplay the shit out of that though. He gonna be like, well, that's cute. Watch.
But I hate to tell you that you're wrong, right?
Go ahead.
So all of the things that you just said, have we heard any of those artists echo that point?
McConan, that was Drake's own artist.
Okay, well, McConan would be the one person who's still working in a fast food restaurant by his own choice, right? That was his own choice. And Tuesday...
Oh, nah, dog. He got you, bro. You said you asked him a question, and now you trying to parry past it. No, he got you on that one, Jay. He got you. And number 2, there was other artists that you don't have to necessarily complain by using words. You can actually just not work with them no more. If no one's working with Drake no more, obviously that means that they don't like work with him. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that just because no one said that. In the industry, you know how it goes. In the industry, people even say it. Pusha T even talked about it. You can't really say too much about Drake because behind the scenes, he was getting people's stuff blocked. He was getting people's stuff done dirty. So no, you can't. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not right.
No, Drake got on Tuesday, remixed it, the song went up. Is it his job to now coddle McConan through the rest of his career? Let me go. McConan has had opportunity over a decade to try to put out more music and more records. Nothing has come from that. Now we could talk about Party Next Door. Again, I've already cited that, Drake and him doing that collaboration album gave Party his most commercially successful song, put Party on the biggest tour that he's ever been a part of. Do you hear Party Next Door complaining?
But Jay, this is what you got to understand. You doing all of this talking about everybody that Drake helped, but that was the first time Drake did something for him, and he's been signed to him for years. Why does it take so long? The only reason why he did that album with Party Next Door is because of the battle, and he wanted people to forget about it, but he couldn't let it go. That's what happened. Not the fact that he just like, because if that's the case, he would have been doing stuff with Party. He would have been doing stuff with him. You know what I'm saying? Drake has a lot of artists that nobody knows about. You know why you don't know about him? Because he don't do nothing with him. He don't take care of him. He don't do nothing with him.
No, because Party Next Door is an artist who comes out and does what he wants to when he wants to, and is also a prolific writer, not just in the hip hop melodic space, but also in R&B and in Caribbean music. And his best work he actually gave to Rihanna, and him and Drake co-wrote some of those songs. So
that has nothing to do with the point, bro. That has nothing to do with the point. We're not talking about Party's accolades. No, we're not. That's nothing to do with the point. Point is, your boy didn't really do too much for his own artist.
can't say that. Then you talk about Fetty Wap. We can go back and listen to the words out of Fetty's mouth, right? We got to fact check these things. We can't say he stole or he rode Fetty's wave or didn't do the music video. He told Fetty, I'm going to do the remix of the song. The only thing is you have to take Monty off it, right? He just wanted it to be him and Fetty on a song. Fetty refused because he said, listen, I want to be loyal to my friend, so I'm not going to allow you to do that. So Drake said, cool, I'm just going to do it the old school way. I'm going to do the beat and I'm going to put it out. That's not his fault.
See, there you go. That's right there is not of the culture, bro. Now you just really debunked a lot of stuff you said. So you basically are okay with Drake stealing from other artists. That's the point that they've been making from the fucking beginning, nigga. That he's been stealing from other artists. He did it to the Migos. You just literally cited. That's how I know you ain't from the hood, bro. That's how I know. You literally just cited that. Literally. The first boy said he's been stealing. And now you're basically saying he did it the old school way. He just did it on his own and took Fetty Wap off his own song, knowing that he's bigger than Fetty Wap. That's the point that they've been making, Jay, the whole time. This is crazy, bro. Come on.
It actually amplified the light that Fetty Wap had. So again, when I say what he's done for hip hop, no one has given me a response to who has done more. Because what he does is
But you see how he's doing this? Drake steals from you, and then he puts it out with his name on it, and he says, well, you know what? That's actually a good thing that he took your song, because now that made you bigger, even though you're not on the song. It's kind of like Jay-Z taking Pump It Up, right? Joe Budden's had a song, Pump It Up. Jay-Z came and did Give Me That Beat, Fools, a full-time Jack move, right? Took the beat. There's a whole story behind Pump It Up, actually. And then he made the song, like, but Pump It Up was already big. But that's the same thing. Now, I'm not saying Jay is a culture vulture. I'm saying, but whenever someone jacks a beat and make it bigger than your song, people look at it as if it's their song. So what happened with the Migos, which they didn't like, and he didn't mention that, the Migos didn't like the fact that Drake took their song and then actually did some things. They might have made them bigger, but they didn't like that. And they didn't put them on a remix. And then with he's saying that he did the Fetty Wap, it's the same thing. You take somebody's song and then you rap over it, and then you sitting here saying, "Oh, Fetty Wap should be thankful because he took a song and made it bigger." Like, nigga, I'm not on the song, so it doesn't make a difference. People are gonna look at it as if it's your song. Oh, if the original song comes from Fetty Wap, it don't matter. We're supposed to be on the song together. You don't take my song and put it out and rap over it and acting as if it's your song. That's what they're talking about, Jay. That's what you're missing.
amplifies the light that people already have. That's not stealing. That is platforming, right? Look at where we are today. He's platforming a hip hop podcast or a hip hop debate. We can look at all the other people who are the biggest names in podcasting right now. We can look at Joe Budden. Joe Budden out his own mouth says, I can't wait for this album to drop because what it's going to do for me financially. Drake is his own ecosystem within hip hop. You can look at Drake's biggest haters. And one of his lines is, the part I love most is they need me more than they hate me. Every person who's on YouTube who hates Drake so much and every week it's a new thumbnail about Drake is finished and Drake is over, that is a byproduct of him having a career. He is funding these people. So
yeah, this is a master manipulator y'all dealing with right here. Yo, this dude is a massive, listen, bro. So you're basically saying that because people commentate on Drake, he is paying people. No, that's not how it goes, bro. Because here's the thing. It's pop culture. Drake is a part of pop culture. You know who else is a part of pop culture? Kendrick Lamar. You know who else is a part of all of these different things? It's a bunch of people that's a part of it. It's not just Drake. So if Kendrick Lamar, I'll put it to you like this. Most people make, when you talk about Kendrick and Drake, people make more money off of Kendrick content than Drake content. They do. If you look at a Kendrick leaked song versus a Drake leaked song, most people are going to click on the Kendrick leaked song first. So it's not that. People really, really, really do get paid off of all of them, but it's not just them. It's pop culture. You can't just say, oh, Drake is his own ecosystem. Drake is a part of pop culture. If Drake was to stop today, people are going to find something to talk about and make money. It has nothing to do with Drake being his own ecosystem. What are you talking about? He's a part of a whole conglomerate. That's it. yeah, people make money off of talking about him, but they don't have to talk about him. There's a lot of people who literally talk about Drake all day and they make money. But there's also a lot of people who make money without talking about Drake and they still talk about the same things. So no, that's not true. That's not true. Like, what are you talking about?
People who take their time out to even hate on this guy, they actually should say thank you to him, because without him, those views would not be as good.
Funding.
Yes.
He's funding these people.
Absolutely.
Drake is not giving direct money to any of these people that you've mentioned.
He's giving them the content that they need to survive.
What are we talking about? He's giving them the content they need to survive? That's actually not true. Like, bro, I'll put it to you like this. I talk about Drake, I talk about Kendrick, I talk about Trump, I talk about different type of things, right? I talk about everything I could talk about, right? My most viewed videos, it could be Drake. It could be, but some of my most viewed videos is probably Kendrick too. Some of my most viewed videos are probably other things. But I'm gonna put it to you like this. The reason why people talk about Drake is not because he is doing things that are good. People talk about Drake because of his antics. That's it. Because if Drake didn't do no antics, nobody would talk about Drake. Nobody would talk about him. The only reason why people talk about Drake is because he constantly puts his album back. He says stupid things. He's always keep dissing Kendrick. That's it. He ain't doing nothing that I can say, yeah, man, I actually learned from him. He ain't doing that. So when you say stuff like this, Jay, I kind of got to question your motive behind what you're saying, because you're basically saying that Drake's responsible for everybody in this space of hip hop succeeding. Oh, they need Drake to make it? Come on, bro. Jalopy got videos, but Big Kiss and Jalopy got videos where they don't talk about Drake that actually is pretty big. Like, what are we talking about? There's people that talk about nothing but Kendrick. They don't even talk about Drake. And they're pretty big. It really is the audience. And I hate this narrow-sided thinking where everybody got to think that because you got to talk about one thing, you can only get big that way. Like, my thing is, you could talk about a whole lot of stuff in this space. There's an audience for everything. If I wanted to talk about how to make smash burgers, there is an audience for that. If I wanted to talk about, hey, how can I make a better lighting in my studio, there's an audience for that. Cameras, there's an audience for everybody. So I don't know why he would say that. I don't.
It's not fair. That's not.
But it's true.
That's not. That can
Life
be true.
isn't fair.
No, that's true, but that's the wrong perspective.
Okay.
Because the perspective that you're trying to paint it as is Drake is so big that everybody who attaches their name next to him automatically becomes more advantageous in their financial career. That's not necessarily true. There's a bunch of people who hate Drake and don't go nowhere.
Where's this guy at, bro?
McConaughey's for one.
Where's this guy at, bro? I need to talk to this guy, bro. He's cooking you, bro. He cooking you, Jay. He cooking you, Jay. Put your hoodie on, nigga. You better put your hoodie on.
Everybody who attaches their name next to him automatically becomes more advantageous in their financial career. That's not necessarily true. There's a bunch of people who hate Drake and don't go nowhere. There's a bunch. McConaughey's for one, because you say, oh, he works at a fast food restaurant. You pointed that out yourself. And going back to
So
the
I was referring to hip hop media space. It's not just an artist. But
understood.
Right, yeah.
But even going back to the McConaughey point saying, is it not Drake's job to coddle him for his whole career? He's signed to Drake's label. That's literally your job as running a label, is to prompt up your artists and put them into stardom. But unlike, just like the rest of hip hop community, where we take...
Yo, he cooking you, boy. He cooking you, bro. He deep fried them legs like crown fried, nigga. He cooking your ass, boy. Oh my God. He's cooking you, bro. He cooking you, bro. He cooking you, bro. Oh my God, bro. This is yo. I would say the first one you might, that was debatable. This one here, you got cooked, bro. He's cooking you, bro.
To Drake's label. That's literally your job as running a label, is to prompt up your artists and put them into stardom. But unlike, just like the rest of hip hop community, where we take some of these artists, we say we're going to sign you to a deal because we want you to be these big artists. No, we don't really want you to be a big artist. We're actually trying to shelf you. We're trying to put you on the shelf and take all your best creative work and use it and pillage it for ourselves. That's a lot of what's been going on, especially in Drake's career. And then you go on and mention all these other people like the Joe Buttons of the world. If he just talks about a Drake, he's going to make money. That's a byproduct of Drake's greatness. Drake, that's not Drake giving back. That's just a byproduct of people calling out what they see. Just because people call out what they see, maybe you're looking at it from the perspective of Drake is so great that's why it's working, versus the perspective of the truth, the honest truth of everybody knows this is bullshit, so we're calling it out, and that's why it gets praised.
There's a million things in the world.
Oh my God, bro. I ain't never seen nothing like this, bro. He cooked you, bro. He cooked you, bro. If you on this live, Jay, you got cooked on that part, bro. He cooked you, bro. He cooked you. He literally used your own words against you. Because how you gonna say that Drake is helping all of these people, putting platform on all these people, but his artist is working at a fast food joint? How you gonna say that when his artist, your own artist, is working at a fast food joint? How you gonna say that? Oh, he platformed people, but your own artist, is not being platformed. That's what they mean by he's pillaging. He's taking from other artists, because you have artists that you ain't even help. Oh man, he got you on that one, Jay.
That are BS, but do all of them draw dollars, clicks, and views? No. Right? So we have to accept it. Like I said, I gave you the quote out of...
So we're calling it out, and that's why it gets praised.
There's a million things in the world that are BS, but do all of them draw dollars, clicks, and views? No. Right? So we have to accept it. Like I said, I gave you the quote out of Joe's mouth, right? I didn't make this up. And we can cite YouTubers or cite media personalities or Twitter profiles or Instagram personalities who literally eat off of Drake hate. That is what the past 2.5 years of hip hop...
Bro, it's not that they eat off of Drake hate. Drake is a part of the system. Because again, they don't have to hate on Drake. There's channels that literally hate on Drake that don't go nowhere. You gotta be entertaining. You have to have some type, you have to have some type of thing with you, bro. You have to. Don't get me wrong. People do eat off of certain things, but people eat off of anything on YouTube, bro. It just depends on how much you stick it out and how much you keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? The algorithm will push you to a certain thing. Jay knows this, because he was doing the thing with Kendrick. He was hating on Kendrick. Now, I would say he was criticizing Kendrick. I'm not gonna say he was hating, but he was criticizing Kendrick. He was making money. He blew up off of criticizing Jalopy, talking about Jalopy, and then he blew up off of that. He got big. He got pretty big off of that. So it's the same. It's you apply the same model to other people. Okay, yeah, Drake, you make money off of Drake, but it's not the end all be all. Like, oh shit, maybe I stop talking about Drake today. I'm still gonna make money on YouTube because I'm gonna find something to talk about. That's just that.
Have been. It's been a Drake hate train. But then again, I have to get back to the point. Yeah. If not him, then who? Who is the answer that you guys are bringing to me? Who has done more? Who's the current artist?
Other guy brought up Kendrick. I can use Kendrick as an example.
Okay, so if that's going to be your goal, you got to tell me quick, because I know we're almost out of time.
Yeah, I'll go to Kendrick real quick and by saying, let's go back to the last 2 years. After Kendrick had his biggest moment of his career, arguably, not even in just that moment, even if you go back to when he had the Black Panther soundtrack, he continues to put his artists from TDE on there. In his biggest moments of his career, he's always shedding a light back to where he came from and the people who come up with him. He had Lefty Gunplay on the Grammy stage.
Beautiful moment.
That is a great moment. Like, that is Kendrick giving back to, not just giving back in his biggest moments, he's also putting these people on the biggest of stages to give them more notoriety, giving them more pub, giving them more credits and writing credits, all this. Like, what Kendrick has done on an...
I would like to just respond very quickly.
Okay.
Yo, Jay, bro, you can't respond to that, bro. He got you on that one, bro. Oh my God, bro. He had Lefty Gunplay on the Grammy stage. Lefty Gunplay. First, I believe he's one of the first Mexican artists to ever win a Grammy. Drake never had nobody on the Grammy stage. Yo, come on, bro. He brought SZA out on a stadium tour. He brought Schoolboy Q was in a stadium tour. What are we talking about here, bro? Like, what are we talking about? And my thing is, the reason why, to me, Kendrick is did more for hip hop currently than Drake is because he did things for artists that Drake could never do or would never do for artists. Drake actually, he takes from artists, he don't actually get back. See, Jay is trying to frame it as if Drake actually platform artists. But no, if you take my sound and platform yourself, that doesn't mean that you platformed me. You granted more, you got more out of it than mine. It's kind of like driving for somebody, you doing all the work, and then they say, well, I platformed you, but I'm doing all the work. I'm doing all the heavy lifting. So it really doesn't matter if you platform me. I'm doing all the work for you to make you more richer. You know what I'm saying? Is that even a word, richer? More rich.
You brought up a beautiful point. Actually, my favorite moment from the Grammys was watching Lefty Gunplay be on that red carpet and talk about where he's from and where he's going. And this is why this is an important conversation. To say that I'm a Drake fan doesn't mean I have to dislike or negate anything that Kendrick has done in his career, because he's done beautiful things for the culture. And I'm all for pushing hip hop forward. I think Drake has just done that more than Kendrick Lamar has. You know, you talked about Lefty getting his first Grammy. How many people have gotten their first number ones by being with Drake? Even after the Meek Mill beef, Meek and Drake piece back up, Drake gives Meek a number one record. Even after the Chris Brown beef, Drake and Chris Brown piece it up, gives Chris one of his best records. Chris is performing that at the outro of the Breezy Bowl. So for every person that you could give me that Kendrick put on or Kendrick shined a light, I could give you 5 that Drake has done.
That's a false equivalence. That's a false equivalence because it's still Drake involved. That's a false equivalence. You can't say because Drake put somebody on a song. Songs and accolades are two different things, in my opinion. Two different things, because you don't know who actually made that song number one. Was it J. Cole who made the song number one, or was it me featuring you? You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, for you to say he gave Meek Mill his first number one, okay, cool. But to me, that's a false equivalence. Because I could almost guarantee you that Meek Mill probably would, in my opinion, he probably would have rathered him be on a Grammy stage and being recognized than actually having a number one song for 2 weeks or a week. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing that he's leaving out. Some of these songs don't last long. So what's the point of having a number one if it doesn't last long? That's no point. Like accolades are lifetime. That's a lifetime achievement. Or okay, yeah, you could say a number one is, but no one really would care. Who's actually bumping the song with him and Drake? And the first thing they think about is back to back. Nobody cares if they had a number one. I know I don't. I don't care if Drake had a number one with Meek Mill. So, and the thing about Chris Brown, he didn't help Chris Brown. What are you talking about? Chris Brown was a big artist way before Drake, and the only reason why he worked with him because of that whole Rihanna thing. That was it. Because Drake had a problem with him over Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? You know how it goes. Drake sent them to join in the club. I'm effing your girl, being corny. Like, come on, man.
And for every 5 that Drake put on, there's another 5 Drake left to the sidelines.
Listen, this is light work. As far as I know, culturally,
that's when you know a nigga gonna lose. If a nigga come up talking about this light work, he about to get cooked. Jay about to cook him. You can't say that, bro. Just have the conversation. Don't come up here, yo, this light work. I'm about to get you out of here. Quick. I don't know. I like that though. Let's go.
industry-wise, he has not done as much as anybody like a Kendrick or a Kanye West in the past year or two, because it's really coming down to how he's actually put his hands on somebody and pushed them forward. These people aren't pushed forward. They're literally coming back after years of not having any FaceTime saying, yo, I'm working at BK. What does that do? Like, even if he gives a #1 to Chris Brown, what does that do? That's not a Grammy. That's not putting you on more and giving you more status. It's not doing much. Like, the streaming numbers can be whatever they want, but they're still getting $100 at the end of the day. Like, that's like a slap in the face. You get a free feature from Drake, and then you get an apartment after. That's it. You don't.
That's, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. But he's making some good points. Like, and that's what I was saying the whole time.
Get the mansion. You don't get put on. There's nothing you get after that. You're literally getting siphoned from. That's it. I'm sorry.
That was a great word. So that was a great word. I was trying to find a word for what Drake does. I was going to say he drained energy, but siphon is a great word. That was great.
I think Kendrick and Kanye have done more.
Of course, for sure,
Okay.
for sure.
So I don't really count Kanye as a.
But all right, let me just say this, and this is the question I would have to ask Jay. In what context did Drake do more for hip hop? You saying overall, and if you say currently overall, I'm gonna say no. I'm still gonna say Kendrick. Kendrick Lamar did a stadium tour that Drake never did. Kendrick Lamar put people on that you would never think that was being put on. And Kendrick Lamar is of the culture more than Drake is. So you can't say, oh, Drake did more for the culture when you have an actual artist of the culture doing bigger records than him. Not Like Us is the biggest, one of the biggest songs of all time. It's bigger than every Drake song. That has to be counted for something. You can't say, oh, well, Drake is big. He done more for the culture when Not Like Us destroyed Drake and actually put Kendrick in a different stratosphere when it comes to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick Lamar is like, I'll put it to you like this. If you knew that Kendrick Lamar was somewhere, people knew Kendrick Lamar was somewhere, and people knew Drake was somewhere, most people are gonna go see Kendrick Lamar. That's how you know that Kendrick Lamar is bigger than Drake. If I said to you, yo, Kendrick is at this mall and Drake is at this mall, 99% of the people, or matter of fact, I'll be fair. 60% of the people are gonna go see Kendrick and 40 is gonna go see Drake. And the only reason, and the first thing they're gonna say is when they go see Drake, yo, what are you gonna do about Kendrick? That's the first thing. They're not gonna ask Kendrick that. They're gonna say, when's your next album dropping? Kendrick Lamar can't go nowhere. Now, don't get me wrong, Drake is a big artist. He's still big. But Kendrick Lamar is a special type of energy. He's a special type of entity. Special type of entity. He's not just an artist. To me, he's like an icon at this point. He's iconic. Like for real. If you think about it, he is iconic. Drake's not. Drake's is Drake. Drake is a superstar, but he's not an icon. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, like people know who Drake is. But Drake is like, he's like one of the people that you could just be like, oh, he could walk up to him and probably say something to him. He does a lot of things, but Kendrick Lamar is totally different. Totally different. Totally different. Not even in the same, in my opinion, but that's another.
Current artist, but for the sake of the debate, I will give you Kanye, and I will say well, it's still wrong.
I don't
because,
know how.
And
how is that the case?
I'll tell you
How is
why,
that the
right?
case?
I'll tell you why. So to your own point, you're saying that Drake doesn't, give to these people. Listen, how many of Kanye artists who are signed to Good Music were unhappy with the split, right? Big Sean has been talking about how much he dislikes Kanye for the past 3 years.
That's
but
one of his biggest.
One of
his biggest.
Nah, bro, you can't. There's no way in the world you're gonna sit here and compare Good Music to Drake's Frozen Moment label. You lost your mind, bro. All the things that Kanye did, don't get me wrong, Kanye West, he has a lot going on at the time. He definitely had a lot going on. But Kanye West's Good Music label rivaled a lot of labels. And on top of that, they produce excellent albums out of that label. Now, whatever personal feelings they had with each other and all that stuff, yeah, everybody, they have a falling out. That happens. Wu-Tang had a falling out. Death Row had a falling out. Most of them do. That's why they was expecting TDE to have a falling out, and they didn't. Those people were saying, "Oh man, TDE, they was trying to create a drama, and it didn't happen." Even Drake was trying to do that. So the thing is, you can't compare Kanye's label to Drake's label. That's a stupid take, bro. You can't do that. It's not the same.
I don't even want to go down that route because it's not about that, right? And look at why we're all sitting here today. This guy right here just told me he wants to talk about the battle. One thing that Drake has given to the culture and one thing he's given to hip hop as a purist is battles. You can name a bunch of
Battles?
God. Yo, Jay, you gotta chill, bro. You really gotta chill, bro. You gotta chill. You gotta chill, bro. So Drake gave hip hop battles. And I know what he's saying. I'm not stupid. I know Jay is actually saying that Drake he re-energized battles. But my thing is, you and Kendrick been having a battle for the longest. But here's the thing. Kendrick Lamar did Control, right? Some would argue that Control is the reason why we're here today. He called out all of those artists, his peers. That's battling. And he actually did a song before that over the Monster beat where Kendrick was calling out everybody, Jay-Z, everybody. So he was always hungry for that. He was always hungry for the battle aspect of it. So when you say Drake gave people battles, I don't know if I could roll with that, because to me he still hasn't responded to Control. All the other ones did, at least the ones like all the other ones did, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, hold up.
Well, no, let me finish. Yeah, battles are very important. When we talk about hip hop, when we talk about the sport of it, it is engaging one-on-one and not ducking any smoke. As the #1 artist in the world, he went to battle Pusha T, which he has nothing to gain from.
He went in battle. He was ducking smoke. He went.
Well, let me finish. Then we can go. He battled Kendrick Lamar. Win, lose, or draw, he stuck in for the fight. He battled Common.
I agree. I agree. He did. I 100% agree. Yes, I have to agree with that. Drake definitely did battle. And the only reason why he battled, because he had to. Because when you at the top, people are going to shoot at the throne. You got no choice but the I'm not talking about battling some low-level niggas. You saying he ain't had nothing to gain from battling Pusha T. Bro, yes, he did. What are you talking about? Pusha T is a legend, and Pusha T is one of those ones. Yes, he did. Because if he would have beat Pusha T, you know what everybody would have been saying? He smoked Pusha T. Like, for real. You can't say he ain't had nothing to gain. He had a lot to gain from beating Pusha T. It just so happened he did battle. I'll give you that. He did. But he lost them battles. And you didn't mention Joe Buttons. He battled Joe Buttons too. He took shots at people. It's a difference between full-fledged battle and taking shots. He took a shot at Joe, but he didn't battle Joe. Joe did 5 joints on him. He never responded to any of them. He responded with his words, but the reason why he couldn't respond to Joe is because Joe Buttons is Drake's idol. A lot of y'all don't know this. I think y'all probably, I might get some thumbs down for this. A lot of y'all don't know this, but he is Drake's idol. He is. You know who else idol he is? J. Cole is, Joe Buttons is J. Cole idol too. They literally said this on camera, bro. There's a video, if you look it up on Joe Button TV, type in Drake at Joe Button Show, and Drake is talking about how he really looks up to Joe. He really does. They got that style from him. If y'all don't know, if you know, you know now. You know now. So, and that just so happens Drake blew up and he went the other way. But that rapping, the way they were rapping, J. Cole and Drake, that's Joe Button's formula. The emo rap, now don't get me wrong, Tupac did that too, but it was a little more introspective, talking about how they really feel about women and things that they were going through. Joe had that thing on lock. I'm talking like, you go back and listen to what's that, Padded Room and all of the Mood Music 1, 2, and 3, Loose Quarter, all of those. You listen to those albums. You listen to Ordinary Love. Go if y'all, when y'all get off of here, go listen to Ordinary Love by Joe Buttons. He did 4 songs. It's like an hour long. He did 4 songs. And he was talking about his girlfriend. All of those songs that Joe was doing back then, Drake tried to mimic that. He tried to mimic that. That's where the whole you the best, all that came from. Best I ever had, even though Joe never did that, but that was that emotional rapping. That's where that came from. So when he says stuff like this, the thing he's saying now, I don't know. I would say that, yeah, he did battle. He did. But it's a difference between participating in the battle. Now, he participated with Pusha T, he lost. He also participated with Common, and he lost. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Kendrick.
Win, lose, or draw, he's stuck in for the fight. How many of our favorite artists can we look to who have not
stuck
even
in for
done
the fight? There were Twitter messages where he was like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to go too far into the.
But he did. But he did it.
But he stuck it out. Apparently, he might as well have been J. Cole in the battle. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, that's nonsense.
Really
that's nonsense.
The battle was live for everybody to see. It literally put in perspective that this dude Drake was literally placating to the fans, saying, oh, well, I can get some more play if I battle Kendrick, my biggest hater, my biggest rival, so to speak. Kendrick is the one that was putting that battery in his back. Mm-hmm. The people put the battery in Drake's back and said, you know what, I might as well do this. Let me get some quick dollars.
So he did something for the people.
No, he didn't. He did it
You
for
just
himself.
said
it
the
was
people-
selfish.
So
He's
what-
not like us.
What was the selfish reason that he had to go into the battle? What
The
was selfish
reason
about it?
because he knew he was going down. He's not on top anymore. Drake is
So
like down.
he went into the battle because he knew he was going down. That doesn't,
Yes,
that doesn't
no,
make
he
I don't know, man. That's a good point. He went into the battle because he knew he was losing relevancy. I never thought about that, but that's a great point. I don't know. Did Drake actually take this battle because he knew he was losing relevancy? I kind of got to agree with the ball here because look at what Drake is still doing to this day. He's still talking about Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has not said nothing about Drake since the battle. I mean, you might say he's little stuff here and there, but he ain't really taking no direct shots at Drake. He's just like, just rapping, you know what I mean? Just doing this thing. Now, Kendrick Lamar, we had to go off what he said. He said, if I take shots, it's going to be direct. He definitely did say that. So I kind of got to agree with the ball on this one. Jay. Because if you think about it, he literally said, he's literally doing that now. He's doing that right now, bro. He's doing it now. He constantly keep dissing Kendrick, bro. So you have to say that he's using Kendrick as a point to keep his career going. Because there's songs that Drake released that nobody even know about. He's the biggest artist in the world. He released a song where he's rapping like he's in Jamaica. And I just seen it and I'm like, this is new? Like, I never heard this before. He got a whole video for it. Like, for real. People probably don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man.
knew that he did not have traction like he did before. He does not have the same pull. A Drake feature does not hit the same way as a Kendrick feature now.
So you saying he went into the battle because he needed it.
He needed
meanwhile,
that.
He was
Kendrick didn't need it.
Meanwhile, he was coming off the biggest tour of his life and said, all right, I need to take a break from music and take care of my health. He planned on not even doing it.
The biggest...
Nope. This guy is very good, bro. He's very good at manipulating the situation. He didn't come off a tour because of that. Some say he came off a tour because he couldn't sell tickets. And you don't cancel tours unless there's something really wrong. So you're saying that Drake canceled the tour to take care of his health, but then he's still doing stuff. He's still rapping. He's still doing things. He's still promoting things. Come on, bro. That's being disingenuous. Come on, man. Come on.
Listen, I'm keeping it facts only, right? He literally walked off the biggest tour of his life and said, let me focus on myself and my health. That is literally what happened.
So he didn't do it for the people. He was focused on himself and his health.
And he put that aside to give us the biggest battle that we've seen. It's the biggest modern hip hop battle
right now, like limping to stage.
That's not true, bro. That's not true, bro. No, bro. That's not true. They did first person shooter. And Kendrick got tired of them constantly keep sneak dissing them. Him and J. Cole was sneak dissing Kendrick for years. At least this is how Kendrick felt. Well, we know Drake was doing it. Throughout the years, we know Drake was doing it. Kendrick constantly responding to Drake. They going back and forth on you know what I'm saying? We know this. So when they did first person shooter, it kind of reminded him of the what's the name, freestyle. The Jodeci freestyle. Goes back to that years ago when they was coming at Kendrick because Kendrick had won, I believe, BET's #1 hip hop star or MTV #1 hip hop star or something like that, right? Back then, Drake and J. Cole was taking shots at Kendrick for being that guy because they couldn't believe that he beat them. And then, fast forward to first person shooter, they did first person shooter. You know what I'm saying? Where he said, I'm more like Muhammad Ali, and he said, it's only two GOATs and it's me and Cole. You know what I'm saying? Like basically really cutting Kendrick out of it. And that's when Kendrick released Like That. You know what I'm saying? And then Kendrick came and, oh no, we ain't playing that game. I'm tired of you niggas. I'm about to really go off on y'all. So no, Jay, you wrong about that.
I gotta put these out for the people. Nah, Kendrick made moments. Kendrick brought people together. even if you didn't like him, he brought moments into the people's eye.
Listen,
the Super Bowl, can Drake do that? He can't. He's Canadian. Sorry.
Wait,
not-
what do you mean he can't?
That is not cool. You can't say Drake can't do that because he's Canadian. The Weeknd is Canadian, and he had $1.2 billion tour. He's the highest grossing tour of all time. Out of every artist, he's the biggest grossing tour of all time by far. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that, bro. You can't say he Canadian. I got some friends from Canada. They wouldn't like that.
He can't do a Super Bowl.
Why not?
Because he doesn't have that same pull. He doesn't have that same
He's
draw.
literally been offered the Super Bowl multiple times.
What was the last thing he put
That's
out?
alleged. You can't use that as facts. If the NFL came out and said, we never offered Drake the Super Bowl, how can you say that he's been offered the Super Bowl? The NFL said it themselves. We never offered him the Super Bowl. Why would Drake turn down the Super Bowl? Why? Why would he turn down the Super Bowl? And again, let's be clear, Kendrick did the Super Bowl twice. He didn't do it once. He did it twice. So it's a big difference.
Album-wise, outside of Party Next Door, it was something, Sticky?
For all the dogs.
For all the dogs. Okay, for all the dogs. That's not for all the people. That's for all the dogs, them. That was, oh my goodness.
So you have told me that Kendrick and Kanye have done more for the culture, but you have yet to point out what they have done. You said Kendrick gave the people a moment and united them.
Yes,
Drake
Super Bowl. That's a huge moment.
How many moments has Drake given you?
That's a reason right there. What are you talking about? You say they haven't gave you a reason. He just did. What are you talking about?
I'm looking at the camera here. Look at the people at home. How many moments of your life has Drake given you?
Drake is not like us. Oh, you know what?
People is not like us. He's not like us. He's not like us.
Drake is the antithesis of hip hop. Hip hop was born from struggle. It was born to uplift your community. It was born to educate and knowledge, and it was born to empower. Drake, his entire wave came from out of America, not Black America, came from Canada. He came from an industry, a Nickelodeon show. He then goes on chasing women, frivolous luxury spending. He goes on about just kind of club parts, which are a part of hip hop. But Kendrick represents, and this is crazy for me to say if you know who I am, but Kendrick represents not only the Black struggle, but overcoming. He may be the first rapper that talks about healing from generational trauma from slavery. Now, other rappers have in the past, but he's the only one that is actually trying to heal. Rappers from the 80s and 90s have taught, it actually comes from Gil Scott-Heron, who was the revolutionary. And I don't even fucking like Kendrick, and I know this about him. I don't like Kendrick, and I know this about him. I can observe this. I am beyond a guest in the culture. I'm an observer. I do not like Kendrick, and I can observe what he is doing. He's planting a seed that Lauryn Hill would you say Lauryn Hill literally has built what hip hop should be to the 5% and all of that, and Drake is the opposite, put on by a corporation, talking about chasing women, frivolous sex, that's destruction of family.
All right. I gotta stop you. We gotta stop this. This is just
yo. That nigga Jay was like, I gotta stop you, bro. Oh, I can't say, look, I'll put it like this, bro. It's one thing I can't stand is a lecturing ass white motherfucker. Don't tell me about the struggle, nigga. You read it in the book. All right, come on, bro. Oh, yo, that's so rich. This is why America is the greatest country of all time, bro. You got some white motherfucker telling you about black struggle. Oh, man, it's like some type of science project. He got the papers for it. Open it up. Let's talk about black struggle today. Like, bro, like a class, he teaching a class on black struggle. That's crazy.
nonsense here. You're talking about the birth of hip hop here. Let me give you a little history lesson. I know people talk about the party at Sedgwick Avenue. Before that happened, do you know that the seeds of hip hop were already brewing and they actually started in parties? The first call and response.
That's Gil Scott-Heron. He's the grandfather.
Listen,
that was revolutionary.
Well, let me tell you about my father. Okay, my father is Jerry Roebuck, who was one of the first of earliest hip hop party promoters. Right? He took hip hop artists to Motown and they laughed at him and said rap would never be a thing. In these parties, with call and response on DJs over the breakbeat, it was about community. It was about uplifting. You're talking, and Drake does those things as well. And you keep saying, "Oh, Drake is the antithesis of these things."
So who made the barbecue song? Drake or Kendrick?
Drake. Just a bunch of. So what are you talking about?
Who made the party anthem of the year?
Who's made the party anthem for 20?
This is what I mean by. I don't know this bull, but this is exactly what I mean by when you don't really know and you read shit. You read shit. You know what I'm saying? And you don't experience shit. It's kind of like a military officer who graduates college and he's actually a sergeant and he never been in anything. That's how I look at the bull. I don't know his name, but that's how I look at the bull. And Jay is pointing out, like, he's like, well, who made the song? It's like he's making these points that are like, I don't even know how to even explain it. It's kind of like he's trying to make these points without no knowledge of the reason why he's making the points. Like, okay, you're talking about Gil Scott-Heron, but do you really know about Gil Scott-Heron, or you just using it as a talking point? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You just told me that parties were a negative thing. You just told me chasing women was a negative
parties
thing.
Were a negative thing.
Those things are
parties and culture which is what Kendrick made. They not like us is a chant that would be in the film Sinners that it goes through history.
Allow me to go.
They not like us.
There's so much to go into here, right? So you got to let me just go through each of your points. You said a lot. No, it's okay. It's a great back and forth, and you bring up some great points.
I'm like Kanye with my brain.
That's okay. That's why I want to respond. So when we talk about what hip hop does reflect street urban culture. That is a fact.
Struggle.
And it's more than just struggle, right? Hip hop was created. It is a part of it, but also hip.
Yeah, that's a point that everybody got to understand. Hip hop is not just struggle music. There's a lot of artists who are hip hop from street urban culture that never struggled. I don't understand why people try to tie struggle to hip hop. It's like, yeah, I understand that we did say some things and we did bring awareness to it, but not all rappers was struggling. Or they wasn't from the struggle. Some rappers are really good at, and they just wasn't ever from the struggle. Like, that's just what it is. I'm not saying they was rich, but every rapper ain't from the hood. You know what I'm saying? That are black. Drake is one of them. So it's really not that. You know what I'm saying? Street urban culture, yeah. But every rapper that's from the streets doesn't mean that they struggled. I know a lot of people who live in the hood that didn't struggle. They lived in the hood, but they lived good. You know what I'm saying? They lived good. Their mom and dad was there. They lived good. Just because you live in the hood don't mean that you're struggling. Like, and I would even go as far as saying the hood don't necessarily always have to be the hood. Like, there's certain parts of Camden, New Jersey, people would think the whole Camden is the hood, but there's certain parts in Camden that ain't the hood. We already know what that means.
Was created in a college dorm room, right? Struggle does not look the same for all people, right? Hip hop is not a monolith. Hip hop is a diverse thing. And hip hop also has changed. What my dad's first version of hip hop in the late 70s or 80s doesn't reflect hip hop of the 90s. Hip hop of the 90s doesn't reflect hip hop of the 2010s and the 2020s. This is an ever changing genre. So because someone talks about frivolous materialism, what Drake songs are you listening to? Because there's Drake songs about materialism, just like there are Kendrick songs about them. There are Drake songs about love, just like there are.
That's a lie. That's a flat out lie. What song that Kendrick has done that's talking about just materialism? Without it being a point to it. He literally said it in Control. No more designer shit. No more Nike. It's only Nike Cortez. He said that. Like, I don't know if that's actually true. You saying that maybe you could find Kendrick talk about actually United in Grief. But that song is not about, if he's talking about United in Grief, that song is not about him bragging about what he has. He's saying that He has a lot, but it doesn't make him happy. You know what I'm saying? They're all united in grief. They have all this money and they're still fucked up. That's what he's saying. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Like that. I don't know, man.
Kendrick songs about love. There are Drake songs about God's plan, which is about inspiring people. And the whole video was put towards empowering people by giving them money to chase a college scholarship, to chase their dreams, to help families. So it's all about what you're choosing to highlight. It's not what he is as a person or who he is as a career. I don't want to make personal judgments about who he chases. I don't care if he sleeps with 20 women or 1 million women. It doesn't affect me. That's that man's personal choice.
Can't do that, bro. This is why they're saying that Drake has no moral compass, bro. This is what they're talking about. Being of the culture, bro. Being responsible. Gotta be responsible, man. Look at all the artists that have gotten to a certain point in their career. They're not a playboy anymore. Jay-Z, one of the biggest rappers of all time, he's married with kids. Nas, I believe he's single, but Nas was with somebody for a while. But Nas, you don't hear too much about Nas and all the goofy stuff he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Even Eminem, you don't hear too much about him. 50 Cent, you don't hear too much about him. But these dudes are not playboys anymore. You have to be responsible at a certain point in your life, whether you like it or not, because people are watching. So if you're saying that it doesn't affect you, but let's say you have kids and your kids is following behind him and he has 30 women, your kids think that that's cool? I'm not saying that Drake should be responsible for your kids, but you got to be responsible at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of image are you putting out? You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's how I feel. I honestly don't think that you should be sleeping with 30,000 women and then you okay with that. I'm not okay with that. It's because I don't have kids, but my kids, I don't want my kids to be like that. I want my kids to be like me. You know what I'm saying? But you have artists like that are very impressionable. And even if I still put things in my kids, still these values in my kids, sometimes they get broken through by the manipulation of people like Drake. It's just what it is. So you get a lot of these young girls who's messing with these older guys because they're being manipulated, or vice versa. You got older women who's messing with younger guys. That's all I'm saying. So I don't agree with that take where it's just, oh, well, I don't care what he does. No, I do. Kendrick Lamar is very responsible. He's not married to Whitney, but you don't hear too much about Kendrick. He has 2 children with a woman and you hear about him and that's it. That's why it was such a shock that Drake did that and said, oh, you were beating on your girl. And that just Drake knew that if he says that about Kendrick, he can actually ruin him, because Kendrick Lamar is looked at as some type of role model, even if he's not trying to be that. Gotta be responsible as adults eventually. You know what I'm saying?
It wouldn't if Kendrick did, but it's what you're putting out there. Drake puts out, hey, you know what, kids? It's really cool to just spend a bunch of money, to chase a bunch of women, get your heart broken, not care about people. Kendrick, whether he does in his personal life, puts out, it's not cool to disrupt your family. It's not cool to be cheating and sleeping with hundreds of women. It's not cool to
and
be
again,
uneducated.
who are these? Who? First of all, if you're looking for a music artist to tell you how to live your life, you've already made a mistake. My next claim.
Why they cut that part off, I don't know. Don't know why they cut that part off. I don't know. But I don't know why he did that. Maybe he said something, who knows. But I'm just gonna speak on that real quick. Because I'm actually gonna do another part to this. I'm gonna do another part. This is pretty long. So I'm only 20 minutes in and I'm still like hours. It's gonna be like 3 hours. I'm gonna have to come back. I might come back tomorrow and finish this out. But I want to say this real quick about this, right? So what you said, right, is what I just said. At this point in your career, you're responsible. Your words can actually hurt people. And the same way you say people are platformed by Drake is the same way you should be saying Drake should be responsible for what he says and what he does. Because he's almost 40 years old. And at almost 40, if you're telling me that it's okay for him to still do things like he was in his 20s, that's a problem. Now, you did say that if you're looking for an artist to raise you, you wrong for that. Okay, I get that point. But at the same time, the artists should understand that even though they should be responsible with their words. You know what I'm saying? You have to be responsible with your words because you are literally telling people things that people take things serious and they live off. There was this group called Onyx back in the day, right? I know y'all probably know what Onyx is. They were signed to a label, Def Jam label called Chaos Records. Chaos Records. Onyx. We all know what the Onyx Stone is, Black Stone. We know what Onyx is. But Onyx did nothing but over the top street music. I'm talking like, it was almost like it was, what they call it, performative in a way. If I go back and listen to it. Some of this stuff was over the top. They had the best ad-libs ever. But still, point I'm making is, Onyx did things in their music, and their music did things to children. Not to say that it was their fault, but when you put out music like that, you do influence people to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? And they do things. So Onyx did a song called Throw Your Guns in the Air and Buck Like You Just Don't Care. The name of the song, Throw Your Guns in the Air. It's a classic song, classic rap record. But when you're in the hood and you hear that all day, you can't decipher what is actually reality and what is actually fantasy when you're at a young age. You think that when you see it on TV and they're doing it, that it's okay for you to do it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with action movies, same thing with all this stuff. So you are being groomed and manipulated to do these things. So when Jay says this, Drake absolutely has a responsibility to tell men not to treat women a certain way. One rapper said, you can listen to me, but just don't be like me. I think it was Inspector Deck that said that. Something like that. He said something like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's my point. So I'm gonna watch a little more and then we're gonna get out of here.
Drake is not wrong for suing UMG after the battle.
How is he not wrong for suing because the song got too popular?
Okay, well, there's a way to view it, right? I think there's a very surface way to view it, which I think was what you just said, where, well, he sued because the song is popular. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more to that. You have to view it from a business perspective and $100 million or $1 billion perspective, right? If you feel your job or your employer has wronged you or used manipulative tactics to harm you during a negotiation period, there is nothing wrong with exercising your right and suing them, or at least trying to uncover why it happened and how you could correct it.
But
I like you, Jay, but you're using a lot of things that you heard. You don't know if that's actually the case. There's nowhere anywhere that I ever read online that Drake was mad at them because of the negotiation. You heard that from somewhere. There's no paperwork of that anywhere. At least what I say. I never see them say, well, the reason why Drake is suing us because of negotiations. Now, what's the name did say something about it, but that was it. But I don't know if that's actually the case when it comes down to it. And I don't think that, because my thing is, he wasn't just suing because of that. He was saying that Kendrick Lamar defamed him, and they asked him straight up, well, why didn't you just sue Kendrick straight up? Why are you suing the record label? The only reason why he didn't sue Kendrick straight up is because he knows that if he sues Kendrick, it's a death blow to his career. That's one thing you don't want to do. So he masked it behind, I'm actually going against the machine, when he really wasn't going against the machine. Drake is doing that to stay relevant. He knows that if he took it to court, he can actually say, not like us, was helped by UMG. That's the reason why I lost the battle. That's the whole thing. Has nothing to do with whether he was going doing negotiations and all this stuff. No, that has nothing to do with it. is basically because he knows that if he was to have won that case, he can have leverage against Kendrick and say, look, the only reason why you beat me is because of the record label. That's the only reason why you beat me, because of the record label. And they helped you. That was it.
Popularized. I mean, he gained from that same method that he claims Kendrick and Universal used.
What method did he gain from?
He said the numbers are fake. They were using streaming farms, all that stuff to make that song bigger than it really was. No, the song was great because it was telling all of the stuff and explaining, breaking down your lies. Now, well, not yours, his lies. So basically, he was breaking down how Universal is the worst ever. But when it was his time in battles against Meek, against well, he never really went against Pusha T. But when he tried to say anybody else,
he actually did go against Pusha T. He just didn't come back because of Jay Prince. But Duppy Freestyle, and he actually had a song before Duppy Freestyle where he went at Pusha T. And then Pusha T did I believe it was Exodus, and then Story of Adidon. Or Cold Red, I think it's Cold Red. Exodus was the first one, then it was Cold Red. I believe it was Cold Red or something like that. And then Story of Adidon came, and that's when Drake did. But that was actually a pretty good thing. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back and continue this. Yeah, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna probably come with part 2 tomorrow. I'm gonna finish this out tomorrow because I got some things I gotta do. And plus, we only 21 minutes in. This joint is an hour long. I love this though. Shout out to J Roebuck. This is actually a really good thing that he did. I like this. I like discourse. I love the fact that he actually sat in front of people and he talked about it. You know what I'm saying? I would love to do something like this one day. Hopefully I could participate with him or whatever. But this is actually pretty good. But I will say that I think that next time he does something like this, he should have me, Jalopy, Big Kiss, what's the name? And DeVille up there. And maybe Moni. That would be kind of fire. That would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Then again, who knows? I don't know if Jay can handle us. You know what I'm saying? That'd be too much for him. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna promise I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I'm gonna finish this tomorrow. This is a good conversation. You already know what it is. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna come back tomorrow, probably around 7, and finish this because this is really good. And shout out, like I said, shout out to Jay for doing this. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have yourself a good one. Good night.